In recent times, MCAS has become a very popular diagnosis, and we hear it all the time. But why? Hi, I'm Rodger Duckworth, and for the last 30 years, I've been helping people on the edge of despair due to their chronic illnesses and conditions. And I'm passionate about not only helping them manage, but to overcome those conditions and to really heal. MCAS, what is MCAS? Mast Cell Activation Syndrome. So, mast cells. What are mast cells? Now, mast cells, we all have them. Mast cells are cells which contain other chemicals which basically float around our bloodstream and system, largely doing not a lot, until called upon by something that says we have an inflammation process which needs to happen in the body due to injury, or some messages from our nervous system, and this is important, which say we're not safe right now. So it may be a cut and it may be a physical injury, but it doesn't have to be, and this is important. So if we do cut ourselves, the mast cells will go to that area, they will dump their contents into that area so that they can have physiological effects, which would be part of the inflammation process, inflammation being our friend because it's how soft tissues heal. One of the most widely known chemicals within mast cells is histamine. Now, histamine has a vasodilation effect. It has, side effects of feeling itchy and irritable and so on, but it's the contents of the mast cells. These go to this area and dump histamine into the area to have an effect in the healing process. And they're supposed to do that. The problem comes with MCAS where the mast cell activation syndrome is those mast cells become activated too much, too readily, and it's like those messages of saying we're under attack, and we need you to go and repair, are stuck on. So this prepare to repair, as I call it, which comes from sympathetic nervous system activation, come about and cause mayhem if they're doing it all the time. And it means that these people develop allergies to all sorts of things, hypersensitivities to certain things, and they will end up with potentially profound anaphylaxis and dangerous condition if not managed. Why do I have a bit of a problem with the current management of MCAS? Well, one of my challenges with most healthcare systems is that we were often trained in reductionist thinking. And I come across this all the time, and I have to coach my patients all the time because they want a single pin the tail on the donkey label diagnosis that goes, I have this, it's that, I've sprained this tendon, end of. And I say, it's as futile as suggesting that you've only damaged the headlight because you've just collided two cars together. There's an impact that's greater than one thing. Or there's a relating system, and if that doesn't work, it will have an impact on that, which will also have an impact on that, which may have an impact back again on that, and we end up in these vicious circles and loops. If we just treat MCAS as do something to dampen down mast cells, that's doing what most of medicine does, is to suppress the reaction. It's not dealing with the why. And my whole principle and my whole practice and the way that I operate in my work is to understand the why. And can we see the patterns of these MCAS patients? I can tell you that these MCAS patients also often come in with a history of anxiety, with a history of chronic migraines. They've also got fibromyalgia and or chronic fatigue. They've got adrenal fatigue. There's all sorts of issues, and you go, you're either seriously unlucky or there's something going on which is actually potentially creating all of these things coming out from that one thing. Now, what if I could help you resolve that one thing and put your body back into a rhythm? It's almost like, when the heart's gone out of rhythm, when they talk about putting you back into sinus rhythm. balanced, when the body's in balance and it's regulated, and this is where this autonomic nervous system comes in. It is that when it is in capacity and it is regulated and flowing properly, you don't have MCAS. And instead of treating MCAS as an isolated condition, I think it's important that we understand the whole of you and that we understand these other concurrent conditions. And what if I could tell you that I thought that most of those conditions were due to one thing and I had a way of helping you resolve that? Now, wouldn't that be great?